You know, I didn't see on your list to become a Christian music singer.
No, that's because that is not on my list.
It's not, all right.
Hey, I'm Brett. Some people call me the Amtrekker. Really, I'm just a guy with a list. I left my home, I left my job, and now I'm traveling the country with nothing but a backpack full of technology and a whole lot of faith in the kindness of strangers. I don't spend any money on lodging, which makes for some interesting nights, and I'm not going home until everything is crossed off the list. Call me a nomad, call me a vagrant, or call me Amtrekker.
Hey team, welcome to Amtrekker. It's just going to be a short one today because I don't want to step on the News to Me crew's toes. I'm just going to show a few of the clips from the CNN interview from yesterday so you can see what it was like, and I'll use the ones that answer some of those viewer email questions that I get every week so we can get some of those out of the way. So, keep tuned. Stay tuned.
Listen, here's the one request I have from you. When you leave this interview, on your website you don't put, that host was a real douchebag.
I can almost guarantee that won't.
Well, thank you. That's the only thing I want to get out of this, man. I try so hard and I get out of here and I'm so disappointed I go and cry.
Number one on Eric's list. you don't look like a douchebag.
There, he's got it. You ready for this? Welcome to Regis and Kelly. It's really bad, Regis. Anyway,
you know, I said I was pretty sure you wouldn't get the douchebag comment.
Oh no.
Don't push it.
Damn. It was that Regis.
The first time I officially tried to hitchhike, like, hey, I'm going to cross this off the list, I made it all the way from Charlottesville, Virginia to Nashville, Tennessee in about 7 hours. It was awesome. All of a sudden I was sold. I was like, hitchhiking is the best thing ever. I'm never spending money on travel again. Flash forward 7 days when I tried it a second time. And it took me 8 hours to go 19 miles. I ended up calling people I'd stayed with the night before and just having them pick me up and take me back to their place. And that's pretty much how hitchhiking really is. It sucks. There's nothing fun about it.
There you go, kiddies. It sucks. I think that's the national campaign for it. Hitchhiking. It sucks.
That's the whole reason I brought such a small bag. Was
Yeah.
I didn't want to look like that guy that was traveling around the country. I wanted to fit in everywhere I went.
Sure.
That means a school-sized bag instead of a great big backpack that makes you a sore thumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I do a podcast every once in a while that I call TASTHIB. That's the awesome stuff that happens in between.
Nice.
So most of the podcasts feature stuff that I cross off the list, but there's just as many incredible things that happen in between the list that I would never even experience, never even know to experience if I hadn't been staying with these strangers that take me around and show me these things.
What will happen if you don't get the Donald Trump moment? What will happen there?
I don't see that one as being one of the toughest things on the list. I would
Really?
just as happily go to one of his speaking engagements and yell it from the back of the room like some jerk and then say thank you and good night and take my leave.
Yeah.
So when we're really young, we're taught to fear strangers all the time. Don't talk to strangers, don't take candy from strangers. That's all we're ever taught. No one ever tells us 10 years from then that you have the ability to discern whether or not a person is good. Mm-hmm. So you go through the rest of your life fearing strangers instead of judging for yourself whether or not this person is worth your time or you should be running in the other direction. Don't get me wrong, be ready to run in the other direction.
Yeah. You've already done hitchhiking, as you know, you know that. You've always pet a sloth. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, you want to be a guest on a talk show.
Right.
Is this going to constitute that, or you want to be on a big talk show?
Oh, I would say this constitutes it.
No,
yeah.
come on, be serious.
I'm pretty easy
Have you
going.
seen our show? Have you seen it?
Okay, you're right.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Ellen, give me a call.
Ellen, yeah, there you go. And by the way, what is up with this? This is one of your T-shirts. This is in the open of the Amtrekker. I've noticed that.
You're right. This is actually from the Totally Rad Show. Dan, the guy I was telling you about talking into doing the podcast, he and his friends do this podcast.
Oh, okay, that's the podcast, the Totally Rad Show.
So there's my plug for
I should have come up with that name, the Totally Rad Show. I think we tried to get that for our show, but they said no. Could you really see yourself getting just tired of this? I mean, seriously, just waking up and going, you know what, I want to go back to living the way I did. I tried it, it didn't work. Defeat, in other words.
Before the list is over?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm way too stubborn for that.
You update your website.
I do.
You
I
don't
do
have staff.
everything.
You do
There's
everything.
no one involved in Amtrekker but Brett.
That's pretty amazing, I gotta say.
It takes I work so much harder now than I did when I was actually gainfully employed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you can see your stories on YouTube. You can see them on Amtrekker.com.
You can download them from iTunes. The podcast is there every week. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. There's new podcast up.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
I'm excited.
I want to, one of my lists is to be a part of a podcast.
Really? I can almost guarantee that'll happen thanks to this young lady.
Well, that's awesome. I've always wanted to be on a podcast. Regis, film it. But anyway, and people, where do they email you questions? Where can they email you questions?
They can email me at www.h@amtrekker.com.
You just do 6 W's?
5 W's
Okay.
and 8. So it's the Amtrekker questions email address. It's who, what, where, when, why, and how.
Okay.
If you like those mnemonics.
Nice. So it's www.
No, it's an email address. So
Okay.
it's www.wh@amtrekker.com. It's a little confusing, but I totally have faith in you people. I know you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There you go, team. That about takes care of things. If you want to be one of the friends over at MySpace that gets a bulletin every time something new is going on, head over to www.myspace.com/Amtrekker, and don't miss out on all those blogs that fill in all the holes that the podcasts don't catch. Those are over at www.amtrekker.com. See you next week, guys.
Catch Brett on News to Me, coming up soon. CNN.com/news-to-me is where you can find this piece. It's going to be your piece will be there eventually, and some news about where you can sign up for our newsletter. Find out when Brett's going to be on the program. Find out some delicious cake recipes, tarts, cherry tart, berry mix, it's divine.